Imagine a mind that is restless, tossed by every fear, doubt, and distraction. Now imagine a mind that is calm, focused, and unwavering, capable of seeing solutions where others see problems, of rising above every challenge that life places in its path. My friends, the difference between these two minds is not luck, not circumstance, it is discipline. To discipline your thinking is to take charge of your destiny, to train your mind to be a servant of your highest purpose rather than a prisoner of your fears. It is not easy, for the mind is like a wild river, ever flowing, ever restless. Yet those who commit to shaping their thoughts, guiding them with clarity and wisdom, discover a power within themselves that no obstacle can diminish. Today, I ask you to embark on this journey, not to suppress your mind, but to harness it, to make it a tool of courage, vision, and unstoppable action. For it is only when we discipline our thinking that we truly begin to free ourselves and the world around us. Our minds are the birthplace of every action, every choice, and every destiny we create. What we think determines what we feel, what we say, and ultimately what we do. The power of the mind is immense, yet so often it is left untamed, wandering through doubt, fear, and distraction. If we are to live with purpose, if we are to achieve greatness and overcome the obstacles life places before us, we must first learn to discipline our thinking. To discipline the mind is not to deny its freedom, but to guide it toward clarity, wisdom, and constructive action. Every thought that passes through our mind has energy and consequence. A mind filled with negativity will create a life of struggle and despair, while a mind nurtured with hope, courage, and focus will craft a path toward achievement and fulfillment. The mind is like a garden. If we allow weeds of fear, resentment, or doubt to grow, they will strangle the beauty of our potential. But if we sow seeds of disciplined thought, tending them with care and consistency, the harvest will be strength, resilience, and vision. Discipline of the mind requires patience and persistence. It is not enough to recognize the importance of our thoughts. We must actively engage with them, choosing which to nourish and which to release. When challenges arise, as they inevitably will, a disciplined mind does not surrender to panic or despair. Instead, it pauses, reflects, and chooses a response that aligns with purpose and integrity. This ability to control our thoughts does not come naturally. It is earned through practice, self-awareness, and a commitment to higher ideals. Consider the great leaders, the innovators, and the visionaries of history. What distinguished them was not merely talent or circumstance, but the mastery of their own minds. They were able to focus their thoughts on what truly mattered, ignoring the noise of doubt and distraction. They disciplined their thinking to rise above immediate frustrations, seeing the long-term vision with clarity and courage. In doing so, they transformed not only their own lives, but the lives of countless others. The journey to discipline the mind is, in essence, a journey to freedom. When our thoughts are chaotic, we are slaves to circumstance, reacting rather than creating. But when we learn to master our thinking, we become architects of our own destiny. We gain the power to shape our actions, cultivate our character, and influence the world around us with intention and purpose. So, let us commit ourselves to this practice of disciplined thinking. Let us observe our thoughts, refine them, and align them with our highest aspirations. In this discipline lies the key to personal freedom, resilience, and the fulfillment of our deepest potential. The mind, once disciplined, becomes an instrument of extraordinary power, a power capable of transforming our lives and, indeed, the world itself. If you want, I can also write the next keynote, Self-Mastery Through Thought, expanded in 500 words in the same powerful tone for voice generation. Do you want me to do that? True freedom begins not with circumstances, but with the mastery of one's own mind. Every day, our thoughts rise and fall like waves, some bringing clarity, others bringing confusion. To achieve greatness, to live a life of purpose, we must first learn to master these thoughts. Self-mastery through thought is the foundation of all personal achievement. It is the conscious choice to take control of the mind rather than allowing the mind to control us. Many people live as if their thoughts are mere passengers, drifting aimlessly with the currents of circumstance and emotion. But the truth is that every thought carries power. A thought left unchecked can grow into fear, doubt, or resentment. A disciplined thought, on the other hand, can lead to courage, determination, and vision. Mastering our thoughts is not about suppressing them. It is about recognizing their influence, evaluating them, and guiding them toward constructive ends. It is the practice of becoming aware of the mind's activity and deciding deliberately which thoughts to nurture and which to release. Negative and limiting thoughts are the greatest barriers to progress. They whisper lies that we are not capable, that the challenge is too great, that we are powerless to change our circumstances. These thoughts, if allowed to dominate, create a prison within the mind. But the disciplined mind understands that these are mere thoughts. They are not truths. By observing them without attachment, questioning their validity, and replacing them with constructive alternatives, we cultivate mental strength. Every time we overcome a limiting thought, we strengthen the muscle of self-mastery, gaining the confidence to face greater challenges with clarity and resolve. Self-mastery is also about consistency. Just as a body grows stronger with regular exercise, the mind grows stronger with daily practice. Meditation, reflection, journaling, and conscious self-inquiry are tools to refine our thinking. Through these practices, we learn to respond rather than react, to act from purpose rather than impulse. We discover that our thoughts are not enemies to be fought, but allies to be guided, resources of immense power that, when disciplined, shape the reality we inhabit. The impact of self-mastery extends beyond personal achievement. When we control our thoughts, we improve our relationships, our decisions, and our influence in the world. A mind that is disciplined in thought communicates with clarity, acts with intention, and inspires confidence in others. Such mastery is the cornerstone of leadership, integrity, and true freedom. Therefore, let us commit ourselves to this journey of self-mastery through thought. Let us observe the mind with courage, confront its limiting patterns, and guide our thinking with wisdom. Every act of mental discipline brings us closer to freedom, to purpose, and to the realization of our highest potential. In mastering our thoughts, we master ourselves, and through ourselves, we shape a better world. If you want, I can continue by expanding the next keynote, consistency and focus, into 500 words in the same inspiring, Mandela-like tone for voice generation. Do you want me to proceed? You said consistency and focus. Persistent, disciplined thinking leads to clarity, purpose, and progress, even in the face of adversity. Now expand the keynote in 500 words without heading for voice generate. ChatGPT said, bar, consistency, and focus are the quiet forces that turn vision into reality. Many of us are filled with ideas, dreams, and aspirations, yet we fail to see them come to fruition because our minds are scattered and our efforts are sporadic. Discipline in T. Thought is not a single act. It is a daily commitment, a persistent choice to align every moment of mental energy with purpose. Without consistency, even the greatest ideas remain as nothing more than fleeting thoughts. Without focus, the mind is like a ship without a rudder, tossed by every distraction and every obstacle in its path. To cultivate consistency and focus, we must first understand that the mind is a tool of extraordinary power, but it must be trained. Our mind left untended drifts into worry, doubt, and confusion. But a disciplined mind, directed with intention, becomes a well-honed instrument capable of extraordinary achievement. Every day we are presented with countless distractions, small and large, that seek to pull our attention away from what truly matters. It is in these moments that consistency becomes a practice of courage. It requires saying no to what is trivial and yes to what is vital. It requires the determination to persist, even when results are not immediately visible, because the seeds of focus, once sown, grow steadily over time. Focus is more than attention, it is clarity of purpose. It is the ability to see through the noise and chaos of life and keep one's mind firmly anchored on the goal that matters most. When we focus our thoughts, we create a mental map that guides our actions. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable begin to reveal solutions, and obstacles transform into stepping stones. Focus enables the mind to work efficiently, to channel energy into what is productive, and to eliminate distractions that weaken resolve. It is the lens through which vision is sharpened and action becomes purposeful. Consistency and focus together create momentum. A single day of disciplined thought may yield little, but repeated over time, the results are profound, like water wearing away stone. Persistent effort reshapes the landscape of our lives. Every moment spent in clear, focused thinking builds the foundation for achievement. Every decision made in alignment with purpose strengthens character and deepens understanding. In this way, discipline of thought becomes a force that shapes not only outcomes, but also the very person we are becoming. Moreover, consistency and focus are not only tools for personal success, they are acts of leadership and service. When we model disciplined thinking, we inspire those around us to rise above distraction and mediocrity. We create an environment where clarity and purpose guide collective action, and where obstacles are met with thoughtful solutions rather than reactive despair. Let us then commit to the practice of consistency and focus, nurturing our minds with deliberate care. Let us persist when challenges arise, resist the lure of distraction, and direct our thoughts with unwavering purpose. In doing so, we will find that even the most difficult paths become navigable, and the goals we seek, no matter how ambitious, come within reach. Discipline of thought, practiced with persistence and clarity, transforms not only our minds but the world we touch. If you like, I can now expand the next keynote, responsibility of choice, into 500 words, in the same motivational Mandela-like tone for voice generation. Do you want me to do that? You said, responsibility of choice. We are responsible for the quality of our thoughts. Disciplined thinking creates ethical, wise, and courageous decisions. Now, expand the keynote in 500 words without heading for voice generate. ChatGPT bar. Very day, we are faced with countless choices, some small, some life-changing. Yet before we act, every choice begins in the mind. It begins with a thought, a consideration, a moment of reflection. To discipline our thinking is to accept the profound responsibility that comes with the power of choice. For it is not circumstances, nor luck, nor the opinions of others that shape our lives. It is the decisions we make, grounded in the clarity and quality of our thoughts. Responsibility of choice begins with awareness. Too often, we allow thoughts to drift unchecked, reacting impulsively to situations or giving in to fear, anger, or impatience. When we neglect the mind's role in decision-making, we surrender our power, becoming slaves to circumstance and emotion. But when we discipline our thinking, we reclaim this power. We learn to pause, to reflect, and to examine the consequences of our choices. We recognize that every thought is an opportunity to act with wisdom, courage, and integrity. Disciplined thinking transforms ordinary decisions into acts of leadership and moral strength. When the mind is clear and focused, it sees beyond immediate gratification or fleeting emotion. It evaluates choices not only for personal gain, but for the greater good. Ethical decisions, wise decisions, courageous decisions, they all arise from a mind that has been trained to consider consequences, to weigh values, and to act in alignment with principles. In this way, the discipline of thought is inseparable from the responsibility of choice. One cannot exist without the other. Life often tests us with difficult situations, moments where the right choice is not the easiest, the most popular, or the most convenient. It is in these moments that disciplined thinking proves its worth. By maintaining clarity of mind, we can resist the pressures of fear, temptation, or haste. We choose actions that reflect our values, our integrity, and our vision. The responsibility of choice demands courage, for it is easy to follow the crowd or give in to impulses, but it is courage, guided by disciplined thought, that shapes character and defines a life of purpose. Furthermore, the responsibility of choice extends beyond ourselves. Every decision we make ripples outward, influencing the lives of those around us, the communities we serve, and the world we inhabit. A single choice guided by clarity and principle can inspire others, heal wounds, and create opportunity. Conversely, choices made in haste or neglect can sow discord, confusion, and regret. Recognizing this, we understand that disciplined thinking is not a private endeavor. It is a moral duty with profound consequences. Let us then embrace the responsibility of choice with reverence and determination. Let us observe our thoughts, refine them, and guide them toward wisdom and courage. Every decision, no matter how small, is an expression of the quality of our thinking. By taking responsibility for our minds, we take responsibility for our lives. In this commitment lies the power to act rightly, to lead with integrity, and to create a world shaped not by chaos, but by conscious, disciplined, and courageous choice. If you want, I can now expand the final keynote, Vision Beyond Circumstances, into 500 words in the same Mandela-like tone for voice generation. Do you want me to proceed? You said vision beyond circumstances. A disciplined mind sees opportunity where others see obstacles. It transforms challenges into growth. Now expand the keynote in 500 words without heading for voice generate. ChatGPT said, IFE presents each of us with trials, challenges, and circumstances that often seem insurmountable. It is easy in the midst of difficulty to feel overwhelmed, to focus only on what is lacking, or to see obstacles where opportunity could be. Yet, the truly disciplined mind does not yield to despair. It possesses a vision that rises above immediate circumstances, a vision that sees beyond the chaos, the limitation, and the hardship. To cultivate such a vision is to embrace the power of disciplined thinking, for it is through the clarity and control of the mind that one can perceive possibility where others see only difficulty. Disciplined mind understands that circumstances do not define destiny. They are but the environment in which character and potential are tested. Obstacles are not barriers. They are lessons, invitations to growth, and opportunities for ingenuity and perseverance. Those who discipline their thinking train themselves to approach challenges with calm, clarity, and determination. Rather than reacting impulsively or succumbing to frustration, they pause to consider the long-term impact of their actions, to identify solutions, and to align every decision with their highest purpose. In doing so, They transform difficulty into a stepping stone toward achievement. Vision beyond circumstances requires faith in oneself and in the possibility of progress. It is the courage to believe that even in the darkest moments, there is a path forward. This vision is not born of naivety, but of disciplined thought, the conscious choice to focus on what can be controlled, to see potential rather than limitation, and to act with intention despite uncertainty. By training the mind to look beyond the immediate, we develop resilience, the ability to endure hardships, to adapt, and to turn adversity into advantage. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to learn, to refine skills, and to strengthen character. Moreover, vision beyond circumstances allows us to lead and inspire others. In moments of difficulty, the disciplined mind becomes a beacon of hope, showing that even in struggle, there is direction, purpose, and potential. By maintaining clarity of thought and purpose, we not only navigate our own path, but create a framework for others to follow. Leadership, after all, is not only about achieving personal goals. It is about helping others see the possibilities that exist beyond their immediate difficulties. To cultivate this vision, one must practice patience, reflection, and unwavering focus. Daily mental discipline, through contemplation, mindfulness, and intentional thinking, sharpens the ability to perceive opportunity amidst challenge. The mind learns to rise above distraction, doubt, and fear, and instead to seek solutions, plan strategically, and act with courage. Let us embrace the power of vision beyond circumstances. Let us train our minds to see opportunity where others see obstacles, to convert challenges into growth, and to navigate adversity with wisdom and perseverance. A disciplined mind, guided by purpose and clarity, does not bow to circumstance. It transforms it. And in this transformation, we find the true measure of human strength, the ability to shape our lives and the world around us, not despite adversity, but through it.